Well, hello there and welcome once again to your favorite all-women relationship talk show on your favorite TV station and radio station as well. I'm talking about City TV and 97.3 City FM. Of course, we're also live around the world via the City Newsroom app. And if you haven't downloaded it, well, maybe this is a time to grab your Android phone or your Apple device and do the downloading. You won't be disappointed. Of course, we're also live on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. So we're welcoming also our audience all across Africa. My name is Jessica, and shortly I'll introduce my sisters on the show with me today. But until then, well, we'll be right back. And you're welcome back. So let's get right into action, shall we? Let me say hello to my sisters on the show today. And I've got Apioko.
Hi, Jess.
I've got Sandista.
Hello, Jess.
And I've got MFA. Ladies, so
Hello,
good to
Jess.
see you.
Good
How you
to see
guys
you.
doing?
Well, tired.
Had a good week? Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a bit of a cold or something.
Right.
But yeah.
You don't want to say that too loud these days.
I
you
know.
know? Corona because...
It's not that.
I'm just saying.
Unless Sandy went to China.
No.
No? I hear there was a party in Wuhan.
She went.
Right, okay.
There's a story behind that. She did.
You tell us about it off air.
Yeah.
will you? Super stuff. Your day's been good?
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Emmy?
I'm good.
What's new?
What's new? Recently found some baby pictures of Ocean on my laptop.
Okay.
Made me so
Ocean is your
happy. Ocean's my
dog,
dog.
right.
Yeah, my first child. Made me so happy. She's grown so much. So yeah.
What
made me
kind of
happy.
dog is it again?
She's an exotic hybrid mongrel,
Wow.
also known as a Ghana dog.
We like mongrels, actually. I grew up with mongrels mostly.
But she's a princess. She
Yeah?
eats KFC, so she's
All right, no problem. Well, ladies, you're welcome to the show once again. And for our viewers out there, if you want to, send in your questions ahead of time, to the show, you can simply send a WhatsApp message to 054-998-6996. And of course, if you're texting or WhatsApping from outside Ghana, don't forget to prefix it with a country code, and that will be +233. Alternatively, you can send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com or search for us on Facebook at Sister Live. Like our page and interact with us throughout the week. There's so much to talk about on our Facebook page, and you'd admit that we really engage you. So let's just jump right into our first email for the day. And this one says, I'm 36, my husband is 51. I've been married for the past 13 years, and I have 3 boys. Met my husband through a mutual friend. I must say, when I met him, he was so calm, an introvert, looked responsible. I was not head over heels in love with him, but my mother said he would be a good husband for me. After a year of marriage, I noticed that we were just not compatible. He's a good man, but he's not my kind of man. I've tried to love him and told him on countless occasions how I would love our relationship to be. He's verbally abusive sometimes, but I stayed for all these years, and now I want out. I want to be happy, and my boys are growing. I don't want them to see how their dad behaves and think that's the right thing to do. What do I do, and how do I tell him that I really want out?
Wow.
3651,
So
she's had it.
that's what? How many years?
13?
About,
No, not the difference. I mean, she said she's been there for 13.
yes,
years.
13
But the
Okay.
age
married.
difference.
Okay.
Do the math.
Age difference. So what? She's 36. He's 51. So that's what? About 15 years. Huh. So I mean, for me, age is just a number. And I always thought I was going to marry someone who was much older than I was.
Really?
Yes, between 13 to 20 years. I always
Really?
thought so, yes. Most of
Okay.
my friends were older than me. My big sister and I know there's a 10-year gap. So I just always thought I would end up with someone much older. That didn't happen. No regrets as it stands. But these are some of the realities that come with relationships that have such an age gap. She says he's verbally abusive sometimes. My guess is that it might not be exactly verbal abuse, not to downplay her feelings or anything, but there's usually this, father-daughter thing going on when you have an older man and a younger woman. You can't help it. He's seen life a little bit more than you. Again, if you do the math, you've been married for 13 years. That means you got married when you were 23. He was like 38. He's hitting, beautiful 40. I don't know if you're fresh out of school then or, just coming from your parents' house. So the tendency with relationships like that is for the man to try to teach you or show you the ropes of life. I'm guessing that she hadn't really experienced much, and now she wants more. But you can't do too much when you're married. And it's not even a sexual thing. But that apart from the marriage, there are kids. You want to explore places. You've discovered yourself over these past years. You're in your prime at 36. The thing is, I'm wondering why she's finding it so difficult to go. From what she's saying, it doesn't sound like it's because of the kids, which people would usually say. I don't know if she feels it may be a stigma thing if she leaves the marriage, or I don't know what her situation is financially. If he's always been the breadwinner and she doesn't really have anything to fall back on, that could be something that's bothering her. But what I'll say, as usual, look, there's no use in staying in a marriage that you do. Otherwise, one day you'll be married for 50 years and then you realize that you've wasted your whole life. It's a long road. And you see, 23, 36, 46, an unhappy marriage is an unhappy marriage. It doesn't change. And you said right after the first year, you knew you were unhappy. And if 12 years down the line, you're still unhappy, it's very unlikely that that's going to change. So take a bold step, talk to him. If, fine, verbal abuse is an issue for you, you feel that that's what it is, address it in a loving way, adult way, mature way, talk about it. If it's not going anywhere, you just need to leave. Because you see, you lose your sanity. And what happens is that your children, you said you have all boys, they'll grow up watching that. That's how, assuming that, again, there's verbal abuse, that's how they're going to treat women in their lives. That's how they're going to expect women to receive whatever they dish out to them. You don't want to create little monsters who are going to become people that you definitely didn't want to live with, at this point in time. So difficult as it may be, 13 years of marriage, it's not easy to walk away from. You may even just be comfortable living, again, that devil you know better than the angel you don't know kind of thing. But if you're not happy...
You're not happy.
Charlie, you're not happy.
Sandy?
When I heard that she's been with the man for 13 years, and after a year, she already knew that this wasn't going to go well. Now, it sounds to me, or it seems to me, that she has been delaying this divorce decision for 12 years. So for 12 years, you've actually delayed taking...
First step,
And so if by the 13th year you are telling us about this, then maybe, just maybe, you are ready to get out. That's how I see it. So if... She should just leave. If that's what she wants to do, she should just leave. And about the verbal abuse, she said something about always pointing out to him how she would want her relationship to be. Isn't that what is provoking the anger from the man? That's what I am thinking. Like, you are constantly in somebody's face telling them what they're not, how insufficient they are for you, to you. Maybe, just maybe, that could be it. So maybe if it's the silence she's looking for, if it's the peace she's looking for in the home, this whole thing of you are not enough for me, you are not good enough for me, maybe she'll have to stop. And maybe then the back and forth and the verbal abuse may stop.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what kind of verbal abuse it is, but these days, even raising your voice at someone qualifies as such.
Right.
So if she can gauge and realize that it's in the conversations I've been having with him about how unhappy we are that makes him respond that way, then maybe she needs to check it, because obviously he's not going to change. So why keep hammering on these same points when 13 years it's been like that and it's not going to change? But like I said earlier, she's delayed this decision for 12 years, it seems. So is there anything you can tell somebody who's been wanting to do something for 13 years? Like,
does it come across to you that perhaps it had something to do with she wanting her children to grow a little bit?
Waiting. A lot of people do that. So I guess now the age is right for her to leave. Well, look, 13 years, you want to do this, you can go ahead and do it. But if it is about the verbal abuse or the anger in his voice when he's speaking to you, maybe you might also want to check what you say to him. Because who likes to be made to feel that they are inadequate? You won't get the best of anybody whom you think is not good enough for you.
True.
That's what I think.
Sure. I mean,
For me, like, this is quite simple. I don't think this is a what should I do situation. I think it's more of a how should I exit kind of situation.
Which was her last question.
It's okay because it's very clear, like, you know, this wasn't working. She knew right from the start. And also, one thing that struck me was when she said her mom said he would make a good husband. So I feel like she didn't even make that decision for herself.
No,
it was kind of like she was guided into this situationship that she's found herself in. With regards to the verbal abuse, she doesn't come across as very aggressive, in my opinion. You know, sometimes we receive letters and, you can tell. So I know some time ago some guy said he slapped his girlfriend. You know, you can tell from the language that is used in the letter. So I don't think she herself is constantly, you know, lambasting him or bringing him down about the relationship. It sounds like she's very worried and she does want a happy home and she's been trying to fix this for however long. But I don't know. I don't know if she can go to her mom or if she has friends that she can speak to help her to come up with an exit plan. Because if someone is verbally abusive, they can very easily become physically abusive because they've been, you know, holding in their anger and expressing it through their words for so long. It's very easy to just cross over. So I think if she can talk to her mom or a friend to help her to come up with a way to, you know, leave the relationship, then that would be great. Just going off of what Apioko said, maybe she's not as independent as she would like to be. That's why she delayed it, or she wanted the children to grow, which is something I don't understand, because I think the sooner the children understand that, you know, your parents are not together, the sooner they'll be able to adapt, as opposed to allowing them to stew in all the tension and the drama that goes on at home. Because children are smart. They're just small adults who don't really know how to express themselves. So, yeah, I think she should have a think. It's very obvious that this isn't working. She's known from the very beginning. So she should, you know, be brave and come up with a plan.
right. Is there something to say for the fact that she said she wasn't really into him from the start, but just it seems as if she just went ahead because her mom said, "Oh, you know,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we constantly talk about getting married for the wrong reasons. And unfortunately, this is one of those reasons. Somebody says he's a good man, he'll make a good husband. But for who? Who gets to determine
But you
who
see,
a good man or a good husband is?
sometimes when we also listen to such advice, our selfish interests are playing out, because you heard that he will be good for you. That's why you run in that corner.
See?
Well,
So now I'm also
You
wondering what
heard
kind
that.
of a home she comes from.
Yeah.
Could it be that, because she married at 23, that's pretty young. And 23, 13 years ago, it's actually not that long ago. We're talking 2007 thereabout.
right.
This is not a generation, 2007 typically, where people are being pushed into marriage very early.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you
No,
get my
I
drift.
agree.
You
Where
get
you
my
are,
drift.
yeah.
Yes. So I don't know what her family background is, what part of the country she comes from, for example. What that marriage meant, not just for her, but for her family. But whatever be the case, 13 years down the line, I mean, you can't keep putting yourself through this.
Yeah.
If it gets to the point where you're sending a letter to a TV or radio
Yeah.
show, then really, you've reached breaking point.
We really have.
So she might not even have her mom's support or her family's support. Because if her family encouraged her to get married
Right.
that young and gave her the reason that, you know, he would be a good husband, she might not be able to go back there for support. So this is actually trickier than we
seems.
think. Yeah.
Anyway, so a couple of messages. Abdul says, didn't you know all this before you jumped into the marriage? And as old as you are, you said your mom said she thinks he will be a good husband for you. And now that fire is burning, you want to bow out? Stay in that marriage because of the kids, or else they will be basa. Kingsford says, every human being, male or female, has their bad sides. That will obviously need improvement. Good, you've identified your husband's weakness. Do well to talk to him first, and secondly, seek professional counseling if he's not changing for the better. Otherwise, I would like to think that you never liked him right from the start, as you indicated, but for your mom's advice. Stay and work on the marriage and stop giving out these flimsy excuses. Cindy says, get out. Abuse is abuse. Emotional, physical, verbal. No person, man or woman, should endure abuse. He's killing her with his abusive words. Shiga says, this is a woman trying to play smart. Which marriage is smooth? Just verbal abuse? He's not even sleeping around or beating you. That's interesting.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, like, wait till that happens. Well,
You can't wait.
Says,
You can't wait.
I know, we can't wait. Kamna says, how do I put this without sounding judgmental? Based on her story, the attraction wasn't there from day one. She thought the love would come through and they would grow in love. Was he abusive with his words before or after she started telling about how she would want them to fall in love over and over and over, which is what you said.
Yeah.
Then again, all I can say is pray over it. Seek counsel, take a decision on your own without any influence. It should be her decision after everything's been said and done. Let no man put asunder is real. The only thing man or woman can do is to seek advice and counsel. You're the only one eligible to put asunder your marriage. Vincent says, you're not saying the truth, because all I'm reading here now is not an excuse to quit a marriage of good 13 years. You don't love the man, but you've been able to stay with him and given him 3 kids. This woman is not saying the truth here, because I sense that someone is behind this issue. Mavis says, 36 and 51, 15 years is too much of a gap. Secondly, verbal abuse is very hurtful and painful. Let someone he respects talk to him about the abuse and try to fix the marriage. But if it doesn't go well, then it's better for your children to be from a broken home than to live in one. And finally, Kwame says, why should you marry someone you don't love? Love is a requirement for a successful marriage, because out of love there is trust, patience, and endurance. She missed it from the beginning because the foundation of the marriage is weak. And that was the first error. So those are a couple of your comments. We'll move right ahead. It's Sister Sister on City TV and, of course, 97.3 City FM. And this message says, I'm a 24-year-old lady in my final year university. Most of my male colleagues say that I'm too mature for them. And as a result, I've always dated guys who are way older than me. I'm currently dating a 38-year-old man. Everything is smooth, but I'm not that worried about the age difference, but my friends seem to have an issue with it. In a recent conversation with my mentor, she made the statement, you'll need to find someone who's closer to you in age, else you guys will be at different places growing up. End of quote. Should I leave him and find someone my age, or should I do what makes me happy? And that's from a confused sister.
Back to this age issue.
Yeah.
So before I met my husband, the guy I was dating, is 14 years older than me.
Wow.
Yes. But he was one of the most immature people I ever knew. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Gunshots.
I don't even want to get into the details. But really, some of the things he would do, so irresponsible. It was like I was the adult, So really, I don't like this thing of people equating age to maturity.
True.
You see. And she said that most of her colleagues her friends tend to be older than her. I always found myself in that situation. When I was in high school, I was very bored because I didn't have seniors. I was a pioneer. And I had come from a place where my seniors were my biggest cheerleaders. She may be that kind of person. My teachers were my friends, I don't get why her friends, though, are the ones who are dictating to her what to do. You see, if they are not in your shoes, they'll never understand. They'll never understand how you're sitting with a guy who is your age and you are thinking about a multi-million-dollar company in the next 10 years, and then the guy is thinking about going to buy pizza at the next restaurant.
PlayStation.
So I can really understand where she's coming from. What I'll say, however, is that you need to be careful which older guy you choose. Like I said earlier, some of them will always want to treat you like a child. They'll see you as, just like how some girls have or some young women have a daddy complex. Some men have a daughter complex. They're looking for someone to treat like their daughter, like their little girl. I mean, all these psychological things come to play. Let's not get into that. But then there are also those older men who want younger women who can think on their level. And mind you, a man who is, what did you say, is 38, right? It's likely that a lot of his own age mates are already married or have kids.
True.
So he's also typically going to look downward. Even if he's marrying someone who is 30, that's still an 8-year difference.
Gap,
See? So it's not necessarily out of place. So you just want to make sure that you're going to find someone who isn't going to look down on you. This guy is going to see you as an equal. He's going to value your intellect. He's going to value your choices. And then he will pull you along with him. And then he will trust that if you give him advice, regardless of the age difference, it's coming from a sound place.
Right.
Forget your friends. Because guess what? In the next, assuming that relationship fails, like let's say you find somebody, you're very happy, it fails and you're crying. As for them, they've moved on. But you're the unhappy one. You go and marry someone who is your age and, like you said, PlayStation every day, you're very unhappy. You'd have liked to go for a business meeting with him and share your mind on economics and politics. But that's not happening. On the flip side, too, assuming you do find an older guy that you're happy with, you get married to him, and you're happy, what will you tell your friends then? So really, I know, 24, there's a lot of noise around you. You're in the university, you're in the dorm. I'm sure your boyfriend, if he's older than you, can't come and do narrowing to Charlie. You can't take him places where your typical mates are. And you may begin to question. And your mentor, too, has also given you advice. But at the end of the day, you know who you are. Some of us, we are just old souls. And
it is what it is.
Really, you can't understand it if you're not in that position. But just cut out all the noise and focus on what works for you.
Very important.
Sometimes I think that when we are discussing age, it's not really about the behavior or the character of the person or how mature the person is, but how society is also set up for certain things. And I'll use myself as an example. Like Apioko, I also have dated somebody that, there was a gap in age. In my case, I was the older one.
Okay.
Now, he was mature, and he treated me in ways that now he's really set the standard high. The way I can't say mitine so I'm not sorry kind of thing. Yeah. But the issue with the age wasn't that he wasn't mature or whatever it was, but maybe you are done with school. You have done your masters. You are now financially independent. And that person, in as much as they are mature and everything is perfect, they have that social ladder to climb now. So it might not even be an issue of character or maturity.
Right.
It's just that, look, let's be real. Maybe you are better off financially than them because you got into the job market maybe first. So you have already started dealing with your promotions and everything. And maybe you are also in a position where you think, okay, I want to settle now because I have a good job. And maybe he just got out of school not too long ago and he's trying to figure himself out. So it's not about his character or her character, but that they also need to climb up just like you have taken time to do. So for the age bit, I don't think she should be too concerned with that, whether the person is too old or whether the person is too young, but she should think about what she can work with around that age. If you need him to be somewhere that your age folk meet or where you want to go, will he come with you? If there are certain things that you need to get done, of course, and it has to do with your demography, can he come along? Can he help? Can he cooperate? Will those things become an issue for you? That's what she needs to be thinking about right now. But as for the character bit, the maturity bit, some are very young, but they have their bases covered. Others are so old, but still they don't know anything and they are being a nuisance.
True.
So that's how I feel. She should just see. Advice is coming in true, but just look at yourself. Look at your life with this. Or maybe spend time with him. Spend some more time and just see where this is going. Does the age thing come up as much as you are fearing it would? She should just look at that and advise herself.
Okay.
Yeah, wow, I'd have to agree with what Apioko and Sandy have said. I, too, am an old soul. I, too, had friends who were much, much older than myself. I, too, have dated men who were significantly older than me. And some of them, like Apioko, have really proven that the fact that you've been on this earth longer than I have does not mean you have it together upstairs, I'm telling you. But what I would say is that she sounds like she's very self-assured and very self-aware. I think that's a good path to be on. She should carry on that path, because nobody knows you better than you know yourself. If you feel strongly that this is a relationship that can go the distance, then work at it. Of course, with an age gap relationship, there are things that will come up because he's been on this planet longer than you have. He will definitely have more experience because he's experienced more. He's had more things happen to him, just to put it very, like, in a very elementary way. Like, he's seen more than you have because he's had more time here. Of course, it's not going to cause issues, but it's going to create a different sort of space for you guys to have conversations. It's going to define your relationship in a way that someone who's in your same age range won't be able to, if that makes any sense. So that's something that that's something that you're also going to have to take into consideration and work around. With regards to her friends, noise. Don't pay attention to that. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself. So, of course, I understand that if even your mentor has brought up the issue, it's given you something to think about. But you know the relationship better than anyone else does. So get to know the situation you're in, define what it is, how your relationship operates, and move forward. If a couple of years down the line you realize it's not for you, then it's not for you. But I don't think you should allow noise to cloud your judgment.
I must agree with you on the noise part, because usually there's also a lot of noise, and it doesn't go away. You know, it could be coming from your friends later in life, from your family, from your colleagues, from strangers. Everybody seems to think they have an opinion on how you should live your life. And I don't know if it has something to do with her age, like her being 25, you know, but I know 25-year-olds who don't really care what people say, you know. But then again, I mean, we're all socialized differently. I guess all I'm trying to say is your friends' opinions don't actually matter. How do you feel about, you know, the situation, most importantly? I do see how you may be a little uncomfortable. For instance, if, okay, you're saying this guy is 38, maybe he doesn't look so young. He started to gray. Meanwhile, all your friends and your age mates look really young. So it's like you can't even go places with him because you feel people will say, oh, well, why are you dating this old man kind of thing? But of course, if you're lucky enough and this 38-year-old guy looks like just the regular guy next door, then, you know, it's easier for him to blend in. But certainly that's a decision you have to make. I think the takeaway from this is your friends, I mean, their opinions just don't matter. And age, yes, it's just a number, really. So just consider all the options and take a really good decision, because, I mean, we're here just to sort of lead you to the door, but you're going to have to open it yourself, okay? So, yeah, we'll go for a quick commercial break. And you're welcome back to Sister Sister on City TV at 97.3 City FM. Remember, our WhatsApp number is 054-998-6996. And if you're WhatsApping from outside Ghana, just prefix that number with the country code +233. Alrighty, so a message here from Atta, who's watching all the way from Tamale, says, "Hi, sisters. I've been in a relationship with this girl for about 4 years. Now, initially, she was very sweet and couldn't get over me. But things started changing with time. Throughout our relationship, she's texted me like 4 times, telling me it's over between us. Mostly after we've had a misunderstanding. But because I don't give up, we somehow find ourselves together again. Just last week, after she spent 5 days at my place, something she's never done before, she texted me that she's realized that she has no feelings for me. According to her, throughout our relationship, she's been trying hard to develop feelings for me. The main reason why she spent those 5 days at my place but it's been very difficult for her. Okay, so that's the main reason why she spent 5 days with him, basically. But she's saying, or he's saying, that it's been difficult for her to develop those feelings, and she wanted to be sure. I asked her if there was something that I or we can do about those feelings, but she says she's not sure. She said she's not leaving me though, but thinks it's good to let me know how she feels. What should I do? Should I permanently break up with her? Because I'm afraid I might be living with someone who has openly told me she has no feelings for me, and I can't guarantee what she'll be doing behind my back. I need your advice. Atta from Tamale.
What kind of konongo kaya is this?
Chale.
You don't like,
That's
you don't want to
exactly
go.
how you define it.
But you don't like the person. Like, look, Atta.
That letter exhausted me. The letter, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh poor Atta.
You say
He really
you're not
likes her,
leaving.
obvious. That's obvious.
He
Else
does.
he wouldn't even message
He does,
like
but
it.
you see, unrequited love, Charlie.
The most painful thing.
Extremely. And you've been in this for 4 years. I mean, at first I wanted to see where it was going. Okay, 4 times over 4 years, she said she's going, she's leaving. I thought, okay, maybe childish mishaps. But really, she's come to stay at her place for 5. That what kind of thing is that?
She wanted
You
confirmation.
and she's got it.
And she's got it. And she said it.
You see, and she wants
But she's
you.
not leaving.
She wants him to be the bad person, and maybe you have to be for your own sanity. Look, I dare say you've wasted 4 years of your life on somebody who doesn't really care about you. It's really unfortunate that you are in love with this person, but look, there's better out there for you. Really, that's where I'll end it. There's better out there for you. she's told you she's not in love with
Yeah,
you,
what else
and
is
the
there?
feelings aren't going to develop. After 4 years, if they haven't, she spent 5 days with you. She had never done that before. What, you're going to marry her before you get to know that she doesn't really love you? No. Don't waste your time.
I don't think he's wasted 4 years, though. I think this is a lesson. Because if he put up with so much for 4 years, clearly there's something up. Like maybe he doesn't feel like he's deserving of
The woman he's with.
that
Maybe.
kind of love, because I don't see how you would
He could
be
do it.
with someone. Okay, or on the flip side, maybe she has attachment issues and she's also very scared of committing. That's why she's so easy to say she wants to break up and then she'll come back. Maybe it's one of those things. But it sounds so exhausting. Why would you put up with that? I mean, I like my sanity, so when I hear things like this, I'm like, why?
But that's you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor guy though. I mean,
I think what the lady was doing was to figure out if she wants
Really
him.
wanted it.
Yeah, I this is not something I have done extensively, but I can understand what she's up to. But the thing is, look, we are talking about him now. If someone shows you who they really are, you believe them. She's made it clear.
Yeah.
So I think he has his answers. He should just, find someone else who is interested and doesn't need all this time, these years, to figure out if they want you or not. Because there are people who meet you today and it's like from now till forever, they are texting you, calling you, they want to come to your house. Even you are running away from them. There are scenarios like that.
Yeah.
So for this one, who for years she can't figure it out, and she even had to come and spend like 5 days or something in your house just to see if she can just kick or spark things up, and it's still not working. I think you should believe what she's telling you. It's not working. So
Right.
fine. It seems both of them are afraid though. She is afraid to go because maybe she.
if you're not
he is
feeling it, why are you still there for
he's
4
also,
years?
He's also not. He's also afraid to leave her. I don't know what's
Maybe
going on.
they don't
there.
like being alone. There are
Maybe.
people
Yeah.
like that too.
And they are two available
Yeah.
people. So
Yeah.
I
And then
guess
also
let's-
fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
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 After 4
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
what will
What's
you
out
find?
there?
What's
Yeah.
out there? But
Yeah.
it's not healthy.
It's not. Risky business. One might fall in love with somebody else and then would have to come and say, bye, Felicia. Or it's not good. It won't end well. So
Yeah.
now that everyone knows that one doesn't like the other,
I think they've both known for a while. Maybe this is the confirmation
Yeah.
they
Right.
needed.
They
They
need-
needed to hear it from somebody else that it's not a good situation and it's time to leave, because it's pretty obvious.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. I mean, it doesn't get more obvious than
Than
this.
this.
The writing is on the wall. It's all over. It's in your face. Just read, This is not where you want to be, my guy. And I think that there's someone out there who will truly want to spend the rest of their lives with you, will love you for who you are. And you should look for that woman. Don't waste one more day with this other person who said to you clearly, you are not the one. I don't have anything for you. You even asked her, What are the chances? What can we do together? She's not even willing to work at it, so move on. Move on. I mean, that's the clear message that we're all, sending out to you today. And we wish you the best of luck with, whoever else you find. And I hope you treat her like a queen. Yeah? Alrighty. So Sister continues. Remember our WhatsApp number, 054-998-6996. Samuel sends a message, says, "Hi, Jess. I'm dating this lovely lady. I love her a lot, but she is constantly asking me for money. I can afford to keep giving her the money, but I feel it's wrong. She's from a comfortable home and doesn't seem to have any real financial problems. She only uses the money on gadgets. I feel like I need to let her know. How do I put it across to her without hurting her and our relationship?"
You have 10 hands. 10 hands. Work with your 10 hands. I'm kidding.
When he mentioned that she uses the money for gadgets, then I was thinking, okay, then this should be easier. It should be easier for him to talk about it.
Right.
Because if she was asking for the money maybe
for school fees, something
and
along
those
those
things,
lines.
it will be insensitive to say, my dear, I'm not giving you.
Right.
But for gadgets,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this one, it should come a bit easy. You should be able to just talk to her and say, you know what? I mean, if you were asking for certain things, I'd not be bothered. But gadgets, I think that conversation should come easier than if she was using the money for, other things that we would say are more important or are more crucial.
Right.
Yes.
He should ask himself why she's not asking for money for gadgets from her parents.
There you go.
She's from a comfortable home. You see, a lot of people who, have financial comfort at home, they don't just throw things at their kids, especially when they are making that money in a clean way. Yes, they may give you a car, but it's not my Benz. I'll buy a small car. When you get money, you buy your own Benz. They may give you enough money to do your hair. It may be an expensive weave. It may be some nice crochet locks, but it's not enough for a full-length 20-inch Peruvian.
Right.
I don't know if you see where I'm coming from. And so she may have good phones, but maybe she wants iPhone 11 or something. Really, if her parents are not giving it to her and she's from a comfortable home, that's not your place. And why are you giving her money? If you buy her a gift, so with people like this, what I usually advise is give them gifts. Not as expensive as their gadgets, but something that she likes. So give her a gift as opposed to giving her money that she can go and squander. And
What
then,
if she asks you for
But if she asks for money, you see, another thing too is she, do you know for a fact that she's from a comfortable home?
No, she told you.
Or she told you that? Look, when we were on campus, we saw some people,
people were
and the
flexing.
lies they were telling. So if you also don't know it for a fact, that's also something that you should look into. And that's another conversation on its own. But if she's asking you for money, then maybe you also, sit down, have that conversation. Like Sandy said, if it's for gadgets and not school fees or something as delicate as sanitary towels, then really, the conversation should be simpler. Not simple, not easy, but simpler to have.
Yeah.
So just let her know. You can even come at it from, the points of view of a person who cares about her. Now, look, we are growing older. You don't waste money like this. You have a phone, it works well. You have maybe a tablet, it works well. You have a laptop, it serves your purpose for whatever you need it for. You don't need anything beyond, especially something you can't afford yourself. And explain to her that if you were another guy, that guy might actually be taking advantage of her based on those requests for money. If she doesn't understand that, then maybe too, this is not somebody that you need to be with, you see, honestly.
Yeah.
That's more my angle, because if you even have to have this conversation about money, about asking your partner for money, then I feel like you're already in trouble, because I don't know how old she is, but we're at an age, or I'm at an age where I'm building with my partner. I'm not squandering my money, let alone his money, on gadgets and trying to look cool, let's be honest. Because if she has things, then why does she need extra? She should try and do bougie on a budget like some of us.
Yes.
But
Bugatti.
But I feel like if you're in a relationship with someone who has no regard for money, who doesn't seem to see the value of money, and who's wasting money on things they don't really need, is this someone you're really trying to build a life with? We could be having conversations about how we could invest our money and the businesses we could build, as opposed to the newest iPad or whatever you need when you already have a laptop that works and a phone that, serves its purpose. So I think this is a huge red flag for me. So I think you should go back to basics and just assess this person and see if this is indeed somebody you can move forward with. Because I know it's not about me, but I feel so uncomfortable asking my partner for money. I don't even ask my parents for money. I don't remember the last time I asked my parents for money, let alone my partner, unless it was something we both wanted to purchase that was for business purposes or something that served us both well. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if you can move forward with somebody you have to sit down with and, explain the value of money. I know when Sandy said, even if it was for school fees, she could say she needs it for school fees and then use the money for something else.
Yeah.
So if you even have to, it's like a conversation I'd have with a younger sibling or something. Like, this is so bizarre.
Right.
So yeah, I think reassess your relationship and see if you can move forward.
Alrighty, a few messages. So Ben says she is using you. You're the gadget guy. A woman who truly loves you feels shy when they're even asking you for money unless you willingly give it out. That one cry, they will pretend small before they take it. Anyway, gadget guy, advise yourself ASAP. Do you guys agree with this comment though?
To some extent.
To some extent, yeah.
I think it's spot on. Scholastica says, just sit her down after a nice date. Tell her the plans you have for both of you. Then you also let her know spending on frivolous things won't take both of you anywhere. So it's better to save instead. Peter said, this money and relationship matter. If she's from a comfortable home and she doesn't have any special needs from money, tell her the honest truth. Let her know you can save up that money for something better in future. If she wants those gadgets, she should work for them. Dora says, since she's not yet married to you, I don't think it's your responsibility. Where was she getting money from when you were not in the picture? Sit her down, talk some sense to her. If you keep giving her money and she asks one day and you don't have, she'll start looking elsewhere for it. Just support her in your own little way. You need to save for the future, and I guess you have parents and siblings to take care of as well. Missy says, women today still feel a man should be responsible for them to show he loves them. It's very archaic. In the Stone Age, it was feasible, but it's a no-no in this era. If you can't communicate with your partner, you shouldn't be dating them. Simple. Efia says, ironically, you're the cause of what you've had to deal with. You encouraged your girlfriend's habit every time you gave her what she asked for. The good news is, it's your money, so you owe her no explanation whatsoever. Simply stop giving her money. If she loves you and not your money, there should be no problem. Albert finally says, my guy, stop dispensing such unnecessary goodies. Gadgets, dear lie bang. Is she an electrician? And that's where that one ends. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, we'll go into some more of your messages. And this is Sister Sister. Yes, you're still watching on your favorite TV station, City TV, and of course, 97.3 City FM. So, here's a message coming in from Worried Abena. Now, she says, hello, sisters. I've been dating a guy for 4 years. I love him very much, but I cheated on him without reason. I stopped cheating. But my problem is now he's never touched me in all these 4 years. He's loved me, and I believe that he's also been faithful on his end. All this is making me feel really guilty, and at times I feel like confessing to him, but I'm afraid that he may leave me. What do I do?
Wait, sir, so they weren't being intimate for 4 years?
She's saying he's never touched her.
He's never touched
in 4
her.
years, yes.
But she doesn't say whether they're married or whether they're celibate. None of that.
Nothing like that.
This
Possibly
one
the
did.
reason why she cheated was because
Yeah.
he hasn't touched her.
But if there was an agreement to stay that way, what's her excuse? But of course, she didn't make that clear. But
No,
if there
she
was
didn't
an
make that clear.
agreement, maybe we are a religious couple. We think that we should wait till marriage. Of course, the marriage bit too wasn't confirmed. I think for that, then indeed, you're cheating. I don't know what basis you use, because if you've had that conversation that we are going to stay that way. But obviously, she has a problem with that 4 years. She mentioned it, so then that's the problem. But she also wants to know if she should tell him or not. I think guilt is a very powerful force. Just say it and see what will come out of it and go. Because you are going to keep this thing with you. You've even written to us. It won't leave you alone. Guilt won't leave you alone. But then, lady, you are saying that this guy has been faithful to you. He's loved you. Why? Like, why?
Because.
Why?
Sometimes you don't need a reason.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you just can.
Just
And
because you
sometimes
can.
you just, you know, it
Well,
just
she said
it
for
just
no
happens.
reason,
Yeah, she
right?
did say
Yeah,
for no reason.
Oh, my God.
But I also feel like sometimes people don't rate sex. Like, they don't rate intimacy. She says he hasn't touched her. So maybe that's one of her love languages, physical touch. He
Yeah.
hasn't shown her love in a way, you know, she responds to in 4 years. That might be the reason why she went and looked for it elsewhere. So I agree with you. I do think guilt is going to eat her up till she can take it no more. So she should claim it and have the conversation and just own it. But I don't understand. Okay, to be very honest, I don't understand this whole 4 years, he's never touched you if you don't have an agreement to stay celibate. Like, if you love somebody, touching them is part of the equation, isn't it? So maybe there's something else going on here that we don't know
about,
but I get that she feels guilty, but if your man hasn't touched you in that way for 4 years, then babe, I understand. So just have that conversation with him and then see where it goes.
For me, I have 3 main theories.
Okay.
One, there are some men who, especially with the way our society is and the way we talk about, especially now, consent is a huge issue. I mean, it's clear that she hasn't made it obvious to him that she's a sexual person, or that she's someone who takes a lot of interest in her sexuality and embraces it. If he doesn't know that, then he could be very skeptical about being the one to broach the conversation, especially if he really likes her and respects that. That's one theory. 2, it could be that there are premises that we don't know about. Maybe he's very religious. Maybe he thinks that the 2 of them are very religious.
Right.
And so he doesn't want to get into it. 3, one that we probably don't want to touch. Maybe he's homosexual.
Maybe.
It's something that a lot of people don't like to stare in their face. But the truth is that there are people like that who live amongst us. Because for 4 years, assuming none of the other things I've said prior are the reason, he hasn't touched her, assuming that he does know that she's a sexual person, she embraces her sexuality, and he still hasn't touched her, there's no religious thing holding you back, then
very
it's a bit
awkward.
weird. It's very awkward. But what I'll say to her is, regardless of what it is, ask him. Women, a lot of the time, we feel as though, again, our society, we don't want to be the ones to broach conversations when it comes to sex and sexuality. But ask him. Ask him why he hasn't touched you and tell him that it's making you wonder why and it's driving you crazy. And then I agree with my sisters. You have to tell him that you cheated on him. You have to. Because you see, Ghana is a very small place. And it may not be the person you cheated on him with who spilled the beans. It may not be you, but somebody somewhere who saw something. And as a guy smart, he can connect the dots. Charlie, we've seen things in this life. Just tell him. And really, like Sandy said, tell him and see where it goes.
So I'm the only one who thinks you shouldn't tell.
No, wait, I was just about to say, like,
Yeah,
can I
Why
just
should you
say
tell
that-
him? You don't,
She
why should you
she
tell
feels
him?
very guilty.
Forget guilt.
Well,
It'll
no,
go
I
away.
think he
Just that
asking us.
voice.
He deserves to know the
He
kind of
doesn't
woman
deserve to
who
know it.
he
She's
is
not
being.
married to him for
No,
crying out
doesn't
loud.
matter. I feel like they have to have that conversation. So this is what you do, yeah. You have the conversation about why you guys are not getting physical, and then gauge from there whether you should tell him or not.
Okay, so
Please,
that
if you
so
were
that- that's
sleeping
your reason.
truthfully,
If
I
you
don't
were
think you should tell
sleeping
them at
with
all.
somebody else,
No, I
would
don't.
have the right
You
to
know, there
know.
are people who say, "Eni enhu enye time." Okay, so you've had
Okay.
a moment of weakness, right? You've gone outside your relationship, and unfortunately, she left out a lot of information. So you know,
Sure,
we're sort
yeah,
of grasping at
sure,
straws
yeah.
here,
Sure.
but. I just feel that sometimes when you open up a bit too much to people, it becomes a weapon that they use against you personally. So if in my heart of hearts I feel like, okay, that was just a moment of weakness, I actually want to work on this relationship for it. I'm not going to come here and start confessing. You're not a priest. No, I'm sorry.
It's true.
Personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. If you don't know, you don't know. Let's move
Yeah.
on. Let me try and work on this to make it happen. Because guess what? 2 years down the line, when we have worked on stuff and there's this major blowout, which will happen, he will use it against me.
Yeah.
That's really
Oh, well, yeah, but you're the one who went behind us in this relationship. And then it's always it. I don't need that. Okay? I'm dealing with my own demons. I've gone out there, I've cheated on you. Yeah, okay, I'm human. For all you know, he's cheated on me. I don't even know that. Why would I come and say, oh, you know, I've cheated, forgive me? No, I don't intend to do it again. So let's move on. Let me try and work in this. If
Yeah.
it doesn't work, hey, I clean my mouth. And then I move on. That's how I
But
see
Jess,
it.
you see, some
I
of
stand
us
with
can
Jess.
do that. Some of us
No.
can do that. But this lady seems like the type of
Forget it.
person who
Those
lets guilt
voices will
eat
go
her up.
quiet when you ignore them
Well,
long enough.
for me, look, if
true.
you are looking at Sandy who's never been anywhere but with you, I want you to see that person. If you are looking at Sandy
what
who's
you
been
mean.
everywhere, whatever, I also want you to see me for who I am. No masks.
See, somebody
I will
like
tell the
Sandy.
truth. If you pack me aside, I understand. If you decide to keep me later, put it in my face, whatever, I still think it's information that you need to know. Because I did this to myself, to God, and to you.
On a need to know basis.
No.
See, just
No,
see,
I see
me,
where you're coming
I
from.
see where
He's a
Sandy's coming
stakeholder in
from.
this
I see where you're
relationship.
coming from,
Otherwise,
but
you're-
you're your own best friend before you're his partner.
Thank you.
So I feel like you have to work on
Look
it with
out for
yourself.
yourself.
Forgive yourself
He will
before
do
you
it.
can work on the relationship.
So
Trust me,
need to
in a
know.
heartbeat.
Because this whole he's been faithful thing, you don't know.
We
No,
don't
no,
even
no,
know.
no,
But
no,
see,
no, we
sometimes
don't
you're not
even want to
measuring
go. We don't know.
faithfulness or fidelity
Based
in a
on
relationship
others.
based on the other person. It's
I
you.
get that. I
but
get that.
it's why? Why do you feel the need to confess? Confess to God if you feel so
Oh,
guilty.
definitely
Work
she
on
will
yourself.
confess to
You know, you
God.
feel me? Like,
Yeah, I feel
go
you.
seek
yeah.
for prayers or whatever. But why should you? And especially if you know it's not something you're not going to continually do. Like I said, one-off thing. Maybe, okay, you like intimacy for 4 years. This person you're with never, okay. God, I'm really sorry. I really want to turn my life around. I want to work on my relationship. And that's your personal thing with God or whoever else you hold that high. You understand? But to go and confess to him, me, I won't give you that ammunition, Mom. Me? Have you heard Shaggy's song?
It wasn't me.
Nah, man,
my
I won't give you that ammunition. I will not. You know, and it is what it is.
We see there are different kinds of people.
No, I agree. I'm not saying everyone should agree with me, but I'm just saying, like, I hear you, ladies, but I don't hear you.
Me, I'm the kind of person, I don't like having regrets. So when I'm doing something, negative or positive, at the back of my mind, I'm doing it knowing that I won't have regrets.
Prove him.
So someone like me, I can actually cheat if I wanted to, and then Charlie,
You know,
That's-
it is what it is.
It is what we move on. Nobody has to know.
You wipe
But
your
this
mouth.
lady,
The guilt is
The
killing
guilt
her.
is eating her
Please, your voices, those, just silence those voices. eh? I mean, it's really your choice. I mean, you've heard from my
Yeah.
sisters, but that's my opinion as well. So we wish you the best of luck in this particular matter. Write back to us and let us know how it goes, okay? And ladies, I want to thank you for your time. We're out of time already. Can you imagine? Yes, we'll be back same time next week on your favorite station. So just make sure you leave your dials, your channels right here on City FM and City TV. My name is Jessica. Been here with Apioko, Sandista, and MFA. We'll be back same time next week. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching Sister Sister on your favorite City TV. Now, don't forget, if you want some more exciting